Crews have searched this area again and again, and this morning K9 teams and a detective found Lowry's body across this road about a mile southeast of here. Family members have been gathering in this neighborhood waiting for 2 agonizing days for that moment that finally happened tonight. Baby Sophia is back home with family. The damage to this grain elevator behind me gives you an idea of how strong this tornado was. You can see this building that used to be a part of the grain elevator that's completely toppled over. There are hundreds, if not more than 1,000 people here, and everybody is just still waiting for the man of the hour, Donald Trump, to arrive and start his speech. You heard that right here first on KWCH. A lot of excited folks here tonight, and Kelly Herzit has been thanking his supporters all evening. They are hopeful he is still alive. Let me give you an idea of what happened here. If you can see those cones on this road behind me, that's where that truck was swept off the road by rushing waters. Now this morning, Richard Lowry's truck was found in the creek over here. Sites like this one, this uprooted tree, are still visible all over town, and people tell me it could take months before life in Eureka is fully back to normal. The expert I talked to says check the temperature of your hot water heater. Some are set to as high as 150 degrees, and this one is set pretty low to about 120, but still, when I feel these pipes here, they're giving off quite a bit of heat, and that means more work for your air conditioner. It is very unusual to have 4 candidates running for sheriff, and you can see all of these signs behind me that are just covering this lawn. Mariana's siblings last saw her walking down this bike path. Wichita police have been searching for Mariana over the past 48 hours. Cindy, we caught up with shoppers at Leakers here, and just about everybody had something good to say about lowering that grocery tax.
Deedee's son has found some. You spoke to a supervisor today, correct?
I did, Melissa. This is a supervisor who works second shift at Excel Industries, and she tells me she worked with Cedric Ford every day just about for the last 2 years. You can print out with instructions on how to measure the slope of a hill, but an easier way is to just use a level. It's a tool you can find right on your iPhone. The Barton County Sheriff's Office says yesterday afternoon, deputies were called to check the welfare of a woman in Great Bend. That's when they found the 49-year-old woman dead inside her home. The sheriff's office believes the cause of death is hyperthermia, where her body temperature got too high. Ted Cruz swept Kansas, winning by big margins in every district. Jennifer was declared legally dead in 2013, but her body was never found. Her parents tell me they still have hope someone has information about what happened to their daughter.
Deedee, what are you seeing right now?
This wind blowing the snow is what's making visibility so tough, and that's partly why I-70 is closed. Here is the big road closed sign, so no drivers can miss it. Let me show you here how much snow we're getting. The total snowfall, the latest estimate is 10 inches, and this ruler just totally disappears. Let me find that before I lose it.
To begin our team coverage from Foxborough.
We start with Deedee.
We might be in Patriots territory, but the Chiefs fans are on the way. I did talk to some Patriots fans about how they're feeling about Saturday's game, and I do sense a little bit shaking their confidence. For all of you Chiefs fans out here in Boston, I have some of the must-see sights around town. That's coming up after the break. I talked with people in Old Town today who say when you're out eating, having a drink, or just enjoying life, you're not thinking about an active shooter situation. But security expert Joe Shalacy says you do need to think about it, and in fact, having a plan can save your life. A shooter kills 49 people at an Orlando nightclub and hurts more than 50 others.
It's tragic. What can we do to move forward so these beautiful people didn't die in vain?
Joe Shalacy says there's no perfect answer to staying safe.
There really isn't, but there are steps that you could take to minimize the threat.
He says have a mental plan. No matter where you are, take a few seconds to look for all possible exits.
You can't get out a door, get a table, get a chair through it, break that window to get out, get away from that danger. That's the most important thing.
But when that's not an option?
If you find yourself facing the shooter and there is no avenues of escape, what you want to do then is to fight.
Shalacy says distracting the shooter can be a strong tactic.
If you have 10, 15 people throwing objects at the shooter, it's distracting him. And that split second of distraction may give people a chance to either escape or overpower him.
Hiding should only be considered if escape isn't a choice. And Shalacy says have a plan in case the shooter finds you.
We're going to be separated from each other, so it's not so easy for him to shoot us. And as soon as he comes through that door, you start throwing attack, and overpower.
Shalacy calls active shooter situations a reality of our times.
We should never cave into terrorism. You know, more so, we should go out and celebrate and enjoy ourselves even more, but just be more aware.
Shalacy says the most dangerous thing a person can do is to freeze, which is also a natural response, and having a mental plan can help prevent that. Highway 55, where I'm standing, was still underwater yesterday, and you can see this water over here, how close it still is to that pavement. For some of the worst hit residential areas, their roads still look like lakes, and their homes are still filled with water. The people who live on Ponderosa Road,
a disaster area,
deal with the aftermath of record flooding.
The water on the roads was easy 6 feet deep.
Much of the road washed away.
It erodes it out, digs huge holes.
Most of the homes damaged.
I expected maybe a foot or two in the basement. I didn't expect over 6 foot.
The water didn't get into the main floor of Alan Schroed's home. Connie Tyson and her daughter Stacy live in a home that sits on lower ground.
It's devastating.
They have a cement wall surrounding the house and say water has never gone over it until Friday.
At 3 in the morning, she came in. She said, guys, we're in trouble. It breached the wall. And it just kept coming. I mean, it was nonstop.
More than 10 feet of water flowed inside, filling the basement and damaging everything upstairs.
It was scary because we knew that that wall was higher than the worst flood ever.
Water rescue crews evacuated the family and others on Ponderosa by boat.
We thought we were prepared, and we weren't. We weren't prepared for 2 foot higher than the worst flood ever.
With the road not passable, people are using ATVs to get supplies for cleanup. They're all worried about more rain in the forecast.
It's just going to make it a lot worse.
Saturated as the ground is, I don't know what to expect.
People in Ponderosa are also worried about their drinking water because they say the flood covered their wells. So until inspectors can check it out, they're relying on bottled water. For 18-year-old Jacob Holtberg, life right now is about the little victories.
For 10 minutes, I was moving around and stuff, and that was fun.
Jacob was a deputy at the jail. His surgeon says he fell at work and got a traumatic brain injury.
Here, you gotta see my head.
Because of brain swelling, right now doctors have a piece of his skull stored in his stomach.
It's terrible. I hurt all the time.
He still has a tube, a feeding tube, and his trach, it's not in there anymore, but it's still open. I mean, he still has a hole that goes right in.
His family says he doesn't remember much of his life before the accident, and now he can only remember things short term.
Even a half an hour or 15 minutes, and he'll have absolutely no recollection of it.
But during our conversation, Jacob did know this.
Harvey County basically fired me. So that's what happened, and it's not nice.
The county fired him while he was in the hospital because he hadn't been to work in 30 days. His insurance canceled Monday. I once again asked Harvey County to explain its side of the situation.
I would defer the question to our counsel.
We can't discuss private personnel matters or matters that are in litigation.
Jacob is now well enough to move to the next step in treatment, months more of rehab at another hospital. But enrollment is tricky without insurance. For now, Madonna Rehabilitation is letting Jacob stay an extra week while the family waits for answers. Despite everything, Jacob is still laughing.
Oh, you gotta deal with me, and it's perfect.
He's hoping one day to go back to law enforcement.
Heck yeah.
Do you love it?
I love it.
The family's attorney says workers' comp hasn't answered if they'll accept the claim, but won't pay for any bills right now and won't say why there's a holdup. The family tells me if there's no answer by next week, Jacob will likely be sent home. It's a place that teaches hard work can turn dreams into reality. But Saturday morning, fire destroyed much of Northside Boxing Academy.
I didn't know what to think, because this is like a home for all of us.
The Flames paid no mind that this is where Wichita's Olympic boxer trains, where dozens of fighters work to become their best. Daylight showed manager Emiliano Hernandez the destruction.
I looked through the window, and it was like, my heart dropped right there. Wow.
Fire torched the weight room.
Totally burned down.
Turning thousands of dollars in newly donated equipment into black char.
All the benches and stuff had burned down.
The boxing ring not spared.
As you can see, our ring caught on fire on the backside.
The damage is a tough match.
They get you right there.
But these guys are fighters.
we'll just move on.
It's not over.
They spent the day boarding up broken windows, working together to save what equipment they could. They're hoping the community that supported Nico will now support the gym that helped get him there.
So hopefully we can get some help and see, either get this gym fixed or get a new gym. I'm not sure, but hopefully good things will come to it.
It's a time that shows lessons learned in the ring apply also to life.
Don't let it bring you down. Keep going forward.
Because hard work,
keep working hard,
can turn dreams,
small setback for a major comeback,
into reality. Nico says he was training at least 4 hours a day at Northside Boxing to stay in shape, but will probably train at home for now. Emiliano says to help, you can contact the gym directly. We'll share how on our Facebook page and website.